Okay, I'm sure everyone has seen Zoh Shia at this point and found it a bit, it's the end boss of Wild's low rank story and our current farming monster in high rank, and it poses to be quite the figure lore-wise. It's an artificial monster covered in wyvern milk, created to be a savior for Wyveria, but instead proved to be its destruction, and it absorbs energy from the Dragon Torch. It can also use this energy to reproduce, which is a pretty crazy ability to have. When its wilky cover is destroyed, we can see what appears to be a giant black dragon form, which is rather deformed in its features. Whilst it's classified as a construct, I think it's easy to believe that it's supposed to be an Elder Dragon. I'm sure most of you know that it has many features from the Fatalis line, which is Normal Fatalis, Crimson Fatalis, and White Fatalis. We can basically assume from this that Zoh Shia is supposed to be an artificial black dragon. Due to previous patterns in other games, I believe it's safe to assume that we will get a follow-up monster to Zoh Shia in Master Rank, as we did with Xenojiva in the form of Safijiva. Alternatively, we could get to fight whatever Zoh Shia was supposed to fight, as it was designed to defend against an unknown threat. So let's assume we get Zoh Shia 2 in Master Rank, in a similar way that Safijiva appeared. My guess is that it will be a similar situation to Guardian Arkfeld, and it will no longer use Wilk to sustain itself. So it essentially becomes like a normal living monster, right? Whatever that means. However, it's kind of a bit different for Zoh Shia, as it is supposed to be a black dragon, right? So can it be a normal living creature? I would imagine if we had a Master Rank version, it would be mostly fighting in its black form, potentially gaining another form as well, maybe. I don't know, like we will probably see it make use of all Fatalis abilities, and it will have its own new abilities as well. Probably, maybe something related to Wilk. I think if it becomes a normal, like if it becomes not a construct somehow and an actual Elder Dragon, it would use stuff other than Wilk. But it would be destructive, I can say that much. Now I assume it would get a complete new arena. Now whether it be near the Dragon Torch, I'm not sure. Perhaps a maybe complete new arena somewhere else. If we assume that it doesn't use Wilk anymore, maybe it has no need to be near the Dragon Torch. Potentially it could for regeneration if it still has that, which I assume it would. But I like to imagine it wouldn't need the Dragon Torch anymore for the reproduction. So we would find it in another area. If it is similar to Fatalis behavior, because it's common, like it has to use Fatalis DNA or something, right? It could be interesting to see it trying to destroy another civilization, or maybe resting in the ruins of one, like how Fatalis rests in Castle Shrade. Now, I think it's interesting to note the armor descriptions for Zoh Shia. They all state some sort of restriction on behavior that would be world destroying, to say the least. Perhaps describing like a clash of behavior between being a guardian and also being a black dragon. It's like two instincts fighting. I'm saying a lot of this stuff assuming it is an artificial black dragon, when it is actually confirmed, right? But it just seems way too likely to be true. Like, I think everyone believes it is an artificial black dragon. Heck, like, your Hunter and Palico even react to it being a black dragon during the low rank quest, where you first see it and slay it. Now, if we talk about the other option, getting to fight whatever Zoh Shia was designed to defend against, we can easily assume that the threat is at least of Elder Dragon level. However, let's just jump the gun and assume it's also Black Dragon level. So once again, my first guess would be a Fatalis, probably a White Fatalis, considering like Zoh Shia exhibits abilities from White Fatalis. It's kind of like, oh, we make our own White Fatalis with more stuff to rival that White Fatalis. if you've seen the theories on the Diva being linked to White Fatalis, this feels a lot more likely of an outcome. However, I'll leave that for like another video maybe. As a funny sort of fanfic theory, imagine seeing Zoh Shia like team up with White Fatalis, because maybe they like sense that they're both like Fatalis in heritage, or they sense something within each other, and they just kind of like attack you because they both have this hatred for like civilization, right? Like they just want to ruin the world for like humans, hunters, all that stuff. They just want to destroy the civilizations everyone lives in. I doubt it would happen, like highly doubt it would happen, but it's kind of funny to think about. Perhaps we get a completely new black dragon instead, like to go with Zoh Shia. I think it's safe to say that it has to be powerful enough to rival the strongest black dragon, since that's what Zoh Shia has in its abilities. But you know, it's kind of like not the strongest. Like Cecilia doesn't give me the vibe of the strongest, but it definitely has the abilities of the strongest. That makes sense. We can maybe get something really powerful to fight in the future. Imagine if it just like turns out to be a frontier monster. Since there are a few black dragon level monsters exclusive to that game that can rival Fatalis. I think some are even supposed to be stronger than Fatalis for some reasons, I don't really know why. There are some frontier monsters I would love to see in Wilds, so this could be a nice treat, but I don't really mind what they do as long as they cook about. Getting 2 new black dragons would be really hype though. Or maybe it'd be too much, I don't know, I think it's hype. It would really depend on how they execute it. Like, Fatalis being the final boss of World was super good with how they did it. And while White Fatalis may be a really good final boss for Wilds, it is a bit too obvious. Being obvious isn't really a bad thing, but getting Fatalis was a really nice surprise in World, and I'd argue it's easily a top tier final boss in gaming. They could do the same with White Fatalis, I need to see how they do it. I did actually say in another video though, I do want to see White Fatalis in Wilds. So yeah, I trust they'll execute it well, if it isn't there. Although this isn't really like relevant to like the future of Zoh Shia or whatever, but I do love Zoh Shia's Phase 2 OST. It's kind of peak. There's like 2 parts which I think absolutely just slam. And it's the start of like the phase transition, like the Phase 1 to Phase 2, where it kind of burns the whole place. And then like this one bit where it goes all synthy. Very hype. It is quite nice knowing that if we do get another Zoh Shia, like variant or something, whatever they do, it'll have new equipment and OST to go with it. Like, I know that's obvious, but considering how well they did with the original gear and OST for the monster, and like how well they usually do for things based on the really strong monsters, they'll probably cook even harder with what's to come. Now, I kind of doubt it, but I wonder if we ever get any Zoh Shia turf wars. Like, generally, we don't see monsters on the scale of Zoh Shia be involved with any other monsters in the same arena. But considering Wilds is a completely new entry to the series, and they're kind of like trying to do things completely new, and like what was previously out of reach, I don't think something like this is out of reach now. It could be cool to see Zoh Shia against other elders or top tier monsters. Like, you know how like in the Narwa quest in Rise, the other elder dragons show up? Same with like the Amatsu quest, right? Like an Apex Onoga shows up in the arena. They could do something like that for Zoh Shia. Like, imagine another insanely like OP elder dragon just fucking slams into the arena and they start fighting and shit, you know what I mean? could be hype. It's like a giant kaiju battle. But yeah, I think it's safe to say Zoh Shia is a very cool monster overall. I think adding the high rank version of the fight, it makes the monster and the game in general feel a lot more complete. And my assumption is that they're gonna buff it up even more in mastering somehow. I think Zoh Shia is probably contender for one of the coolest final boss monsters we've had in Monster Hunter for quite a while. And it's crazy that it was only our low rank final boss. Also, I would like to note that Zoh Shia's phase transition is peak. Alright, that's all. But yes, Zoh Shia, very cool boss monster. I cannot wait to see what else they do. Like, they might do something in the title updates, or they just wait till Massacre. I can't wait. I think they're gonna do really good with all the big boss monsters in this game. So it's gonna be really hyped to see. Other than that, I haven't got much more to say. So, as per usual, stay safe, take care, and goodbye. Gooby.